Alright, let's go up here. Man, my nose is starting to kill me. What's going on? Must be like some dust in the air or something. Go up the ladder, guys. Come on. Oh, I guess Itamek wasn't ready. Is that his name? I always forget. Yeah, I was right. Now, whether or not I pronounced it correctly, that's a different story. Alright, up we go. And let's see. Final Journal of Jonas. Okay, this guy must have really liked Jonas, huh? The thick hide, stretched thin upon the rack, looks like it came from a stale gear. The curing and waterproofing agents slathered over it give off a heavy odor. Indeed.
Why not?
I don't like that.
There, done.
Probably want somebody else to open it, because he's probably not going to be happy. What are you? Effigy's eyes! Sabin! Stop her! He raises his axe, rage in his eyes. See, now... I understand he's angry. But that's also probably not the smartest thing to do when you see a bunch of armed people coming out of the temple that your people were in. Right? Like, it doesn't seem quite like the smart thing to do. But we will loot that.
Secrets whisper here, I shall listen for.
Oh, there's the key. Alright, and that's all the Skane cultists, at least in there, dealt with. Should we just kill the whole town, just to be safe? Probably. Yeah, let's just purge it. No big deal. Who's going to question us? Alright. We've got your dragon egg.
Welcome.
I found the dragon egg. Hylia's feathered tits. She claps her hands together, wincing at the pain. How'd you manage that? I found the nest you spoke of. Hope those worms didn't give you too much trouble. Let's see her then. She cradles the egg with her good arm. Amazing, not a single crack. She runs her bandaged hand across the shell. She hefts the egg into the back of her wagon and rummages among her shelves. Here, take this. She drops a stack of coins and a parcel of ingredients into your hands. Everything you need to brew a good, strong pick-me-up. Should come in handy with the kinds of scrapes you seem to get into. She leans closer. And come see me anytime you need potions or ingredients, alright? I got a special price for friends. 600 copper? Really? That's it for a dragon's egg? I mean, I guess thank you, but, you know, could have been better. Alright, let's go talk to the noble. And then I guess we'll sleep here, too. And I think we're just gonna... I kind of want to go get Kana, but at the same time, we're out here. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that we go back to Kadnua. I don't think... Wait. Where is he? Resting upstairs, okay. I guess... I don't know what kind of options we have for him, but I suppose we're gonna just tell him, like, yeah, your niece is dead, or, you know, she decided to walk the roads. You're never gonna find her, or something. I don't know. We'll see what kind of options we have. Hello?
What are you doing up here? Unless... Have you news of my daughter? I've got to get her out of this wretched village.
An elven man paces in the corner of the room, gnawing the thumb of his fine silk glove. He resumes his pacing. I found Elise.
My daughter? Is she safe?
She's dead.
That can't be. What happened?
His face is ashen. He looks back at you, his eyes suddenly fearful. You know exactly what I discovered. I should kill you for what you did. You can't get to her now, and that's what matters. I'll tell everyone what a monster you are. I didn't come here to talk. Pay up and get out of here. You know exactly what I've discovered.
I don't know what you're referring to, but I've heard enough already. Take this, and let's put this unpleasantness behind us.
He dumps a bag of coin into your hand. Go. Can't use the might option. Resolve option. Rumors travel fast, certainly faster than caravans. Do you really want to take that chance? Or kill him? My thoughts exactly. Would it be out of character for her to kill him? It's difficult. There's one thing that pops in my mind with not killing him, is that with enough investigation, he'll probably be able to determine that she didn't die. I guess if I don't ever tell him where the body is. But I mean, they'll find Trigill's body. And, you know, plenty of people saw me walk out of Trigill's when I didn't walk in, right? I don't know if there's enough evidence for him to put everything together, but maybe. And the thought is, you know, if he figures out that she's not dead, he'll be hunting her. And Klessia knows what it's like to be hunted when you're all alone. It's not a good feeling. So, I don't know. But it does feel like maybe it's a little bit out of character for her to kill. She hasn't really ever made that decision before when she didn't have to, right? Let's just do the resolve one. Do you really want to take that chance?
Very well. Now, I really must get back on the road.
Alright. I, as the player, wanted to kill him because he's a jackass, but, you know. It is what it is. I don't think she would have. Plus, she might have, if she killed him, she probably would have had to deal with the guards, and they didn't do anything wrong. I guess a lot of them probably know the situation. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, we have a quest completed up here. Venturing into the depths of the White Wreath well, Heravius discovered that while the foundations of the well were made of a living Adra, the source of the sounds were wicks that had been dropped into the well by their mothers. In total, a dozen women from White Wreath and the surrounding woods had dropped their children into the well after they learned they would turn into wicks. Some had died, but many survived the fall, living on small rodents and other critters that wandered the ruined Ingwithan tunnels under the well. Heravius was forced to fight the aggressive wicks, but eventually emerged and told the village what had transpired. Some of the mothers confessed what they had done immediately, others fled the village. In the end, no one had the desire to punish anyone for what had happened. Swaddling Sheet. Recall agony, once per rest, an overwhelming wave when hit by a critical hit. This dingy, stained cloak was once used as a large swaddling sheet for an unfortunate, hollowborn child that was dropped into the White Wreath village well. As it sat at the bottom of the well among the foundations of living Adra and a clan of wicks, it acquired strange powers. Interesting. It's a very sad story, but interesting. Alright, we've got one more quest to turn in. The last quest we need to turn in is the pig farmer, right? I guess we need to tell him that the ogre problem's fine. I don't know.
Welcome.
I just don't have its head. What do you know about the ogre? Okay, what do I gotta do for this quest? What?
Hail, traveler.
I think something went wrong with that quest. I don't know. Something doesn't seem quite right with that. Okay, well, I guess we're done with that quest then. What's this one? Okay, so we need to talk to the grieving mother. True to form. Alright, that's in Twin Elms. Okay. Alright then. Let us... What's this? Oh, I can't. That's stealing. Let's go take a sleep. And then we'll, I guess we'll go do the main quest up there. Might as well. I think we'll sleep, we'll talk to the grieving mother, and then we'll go do that.
Gods keep you.
What rooms you got? Make sure you close your windows if you're on the side facing Trigal's shop. Right. Might and Constitution plus 10% damage against beasts. Plus 2 Might, plus 2 Con, plus 2 Int. Plus 2 Dex, plus 6 damage reduction. Let's go with Dragon's Lair. Okay. We're talking to you.
Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher.
I had questions for you. Let your mind speak for you. I shall listen past the words. You addressed me as Watcher when we met. Do you know what a Watcher is? There's a slow chill, and for a moment, it seems as if she is going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen.
The title came unbidden. I do not know why I spoke of it. Yet it seemed the right mantle, a familiar one.
Yet I do not know where it came from. From where it came. If I have given offense, oddly enough, it feels like she's not speaking to you. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill, which persists for a sharp moment, then fades into a dull fear. If I have given offense, forgive me. Forgive me. You would know more than I. Have you encountered Watchers before? I do not know. It is an odd feeling, an old feeling. I do not know where it stems from. It was a word that arose when you saw me. It is said Watchers see much that others do not, and I have been hidden from the eyes of others for some time. May I ask you about something else? If I have answers, I shall share them. How is it no one can see you?
Their eyes see me, but their minds will not remember past the call.
A call?
My face is like the call of a newborn, hiding the face beneath. And for my body, I am able to wrap myself as a mother cradling her child. I am here, as you see me. But to them, their eyes see only the cloak that I wear, a peasant mother, dirty, shabby, not worth knowing. As a Watcher, you see more than others. To the eyes of most, I am as unseen as the spirits you share memories with.
How are you able to affect minds? I divert the flow of their senses down a different path, to a place easily forgotten. It is not unwelcome when one does not desire the presence of others. The surface of their minds register a figure, but the memory slips away. They see a woman, but there is no desire for conversation, no desire for any questions, and I have none to ask. Discuss something else? When we first met, how was I able to enter your dream?
I do not know. What do you speak of? If you were in my thoughts, I could not feel your presence, nor do I know what you saw there.
As she speaks, you suddenly feel an odd sensation in your mind, as if walking in her thoughts would be as if walking down a back street of a merchant stalls. The claustrophobia of wooden shelves and canvas tarps, made less oppressive by the sheer number of enticing vials and bottles that stretch out to the sides of you. You suddenly realize that whether she permits it or not, you could enter her dream and observe it without her ever knowing. In response, your hand twitches. There is the feeling that you could simply pick up a vial, taste it, sample it, and keep the memory as your own. And suddenly you find yourself back in her. Your present thoughts. Though you were away for but a moment. She seems unaware of your diversion of thought. It may be one of your gifts, an ability to walk in memories as easily as someone walks upon the ground. I wanted to see your memories again. May I try again? Perhaps you'd like to hear of what I saw in your memories. May I try again? You feel her slowly nod, though she makes no motion. My mind is open to you, as it was before when we met. I could not stop you if I wished. As long as you don't mind if I try, I shall do so. I do not want to impose, I seek your permission. My memory is not as it was. Much has been forgotten. If you would walk in my thoughts, I have nothing hidden. Her thoughts feel strangely apologetic and welcoming, both at once. Perhaps you may learn something that will strengthen you, or a clue to what has caused this trembling burning of the fields of souls and halted Barrett's will. Her mind gives way, your passage almost unnoticed as you enter her as before, circling the memory you shared when you first met. And suddenly, you are calm. You are on a plateau, almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest, hazy with mist. Although whether it is actual mist or distance, or a recollection, resting in the curve of a natural arch above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention, as if looking down on you and the events unfolding before you. The plateau has soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body, your physical contours, have changed along with the surroundings. Is this the same one we read before? Yes. Okay, we have read this one before. I walked again in your dreams, thoughts, and I believe your memories. A mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, the chiming at her wrist quelling the rise within her. She is frightened, but curiosity anchors her.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
The dream, the memory I saw upon meeting you. It was you, helping give birth to a child. There is silence, and as you breathe, and as your breath falls still, you hear the faint cry of a child in the distance, a newborn child, almost exactly like what you heard in the dream. As you listen, the grieving mother raises both her hands as if weaving, her wrists chiming as she does so, in a semblance of the gentle turning she provided when the newborn was crowning. To your surprise, you recognize the motions and the words from the memory, even as they are new to you. As she weaves her hands through the air in front of her, the child's cries grow still, yet the sound of the chimes weaves almost hypnotically into your thoughts. The sky seems sharp and clear, and you feel as if you are towering over your surroundings, as if kneeling atop a great pillar, just as she did in the memory. To your surprise, the grieving mother falls as if her strings were cut, and her knees crack hard against the ground. Her hands never cease moving in the air, the chimes echoing her movements. In a ragged voice, you hear her speak. The voice is that of a much older woman than the one before you, harsh, almost desperate.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Her eyes, now terribly sharp and real, are filmed with white, silver white, like Audra. A mountain ledge, I think. It was high up. Snow, I think. A huge forest stretching out beneath a great rock. We were in the middle of a clear forest with a strong wind tearing through it. It was in the middle of a forest atop a great plateau. The sky was clear, mist blanketing the trees. 4. As she kneels before you on the ground, she whispers to you, hoarsely, and even fainter with the distance between you.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
It was desert rock, copper-colored, arched, blasted by the sun. That was it, right? She leans back, as if looking back at the sky, but her eyes are closed, the film building on them. With a slow intake of breath, you feel time become quiet around you. I do not feel the memory. I do not know if it's mine, but... Her hair falls across her features, again like a veil, and she nods, not with her chin, but with a push in her mind. But thank you for trying. Was I wrong? I want to talk to you about it again. There's a silence, and as your breath falls still... Wait, we've read this, right? Yeah. Its surface warmed by the sun. Was it Silver Audra? As you watch her hands rise before you, she clasps them, then cups them as if feeling for the first time, and she stares down into the cradle of her hands. The chimes sound once, twice, as they swing with the movement.
And what did these hands hold?
The same chimes you hold now. They held a mother while she gave birth, painfully. I'm not sure. There was a child you were bringing forth in your hands. I don't recall. A newborn child. There was a sudden intake of breath, and then a release. Her eyes blur, closed, forming into slits. But in the brief glimpse you have of her changing expression, the rippling pain in her features seems to have smoothed. She swallows once, twice, and then you feel her once again in your thoughts, the rasping husk of her voice swallowed and drawn within her.
It was the birthing bell you saw.
There is surprise,
Has it been so long? Have I forgotten so much?
followed by a rising horror swirling beneath the words. With the words comes a river of impulses, thoughts, as if loosed from a breaking dam. And as your mind wraps the impulses into words, you realize it is her muscles and her hardened thoughts relaxing and breathing again. There is such an intensity you almost want to step back from the flow, but you find the weave of impulses cause questions to float to the surface. Among them is a name. Watcher. What is the birthing bell?
It is a plateau formed of the spirit stone Audra. At its top is set a great bell, cradled in the reaching arm of the plateau. It stirs in the wind, and it sounds for leagues when struck by Kith hands. In distant times, the great bell served as a Glanfathan watchtower, perhaps. Why they abandoned it, I do not know. Other men came in time, settlers, and claimed the tower as their own. I, in turn, claimed it from them. The pillar became a cradle where I could draw new souls into the world.
In your memory, were you helping a woman give birth?
Yes. Yet, I believe you only saw a small part of the birthing ritual. It is not all in a moment, nor in a day. It is a journey of many years between the child, the mother, and I.
There was much I could do to aid the mother. Some sought the physical comforts of ritual to steady their thoughts, even Audra from the bell. Others would seek advice, words of counsel, for the days ahead. I was able to provide draughts, tinctures, and a reading of the child's spirit, all to strengthen the mother. Can you tell me more about the birthing ritual?
The ritual was one of many steps. It took many tens of years to carve them, but always the child's thoughts were there to guide me, from the moment it began to awaken, to the 3 seasons within the mother, to the birthing day, and the years to follow. The child's thoughts, that is where it began. The expectant mother, I could often sense her thoughts, and those of her child, before she could. I would soothe her, free her from the panic of questions. I would sound the memory of the birthing bell atop the plateau in her mind, letting the memory of the vibrations fill my thoughts and hers. Often, the child's soul could hear it too, so the sound of the bell echoed in the mother's thoughts.
You sensed the mother's thoughts? Sharing memories and thoughts can bond lives together, as can hardships, and most of all, the sharing of what is familiar. The bell itself provided shelter for such thoughts, opportunities to see deep into the crevice, hollows in the rock where one could find shelter, clefts where you could feel the Audra all around you. As she speaks, you feel your legs bent, crossed, and the warmth of walls around you and blankets woven thick beneath you. Such shared images can bond souls even tighter and allow them to draw strength from each other. You mentioned the ritual lasted years. What would happen after the birth? Once the pain is channeled away and the mother and child breathe again, I sound the birthing bell on my wrists and allow the mother to hear the child's thoughts, the ringing echoing in each other's thoughts. The bells open the way between them, let her feelings pass into the newborn, and let her feel the child in return. And when the feelings meet, that is when I weave together another memory and leave it tied in their minds. Did these bells play an important role in the birthing process? Yes, and for years after. I gave a set to the child after delivery. It is a reminder of the memory the mother and child shared. You feel an odd sensation, a warmth. You can feel a smile being shared, then it flickers, and it is gone. As the bells coaxed the child forth, so they accompany the child onward, fastened about the wrists, to to care for them in mind and body. There is no magic in it except for the magic of practicality. If a child sought to leave their cradle or escape their crib, the mother would know through the wearing of the chimes alone. At times, if the bond was strong enough, so would I. The sensation of a smile comes again, slower, more knowing between you. If not watched, children, much trouble may be had from their tiny hands. The chimes are kept until the child needs them no longer. When I no longer can hear them sounding in my mind, I know their spirits have changed, and the bonds we shared are long gone. This shedding may last many years, or but a few, but it is necessary. You watched over these children for years after their births? Children are fragile things. Even the ties of blood and mind may not be enough. They must be watched, and even then, the body may fail the mind. But if watched, even the most sickly child may cling to life if determined enough, and many of their souls were tied to me. If a child's spirit failed, I could sound the chimes in their minds and grant them strength. Even from afar, it did not always serve, but it gave hope. It sounds like you've seen tragedy too. Enough to never wish to feel it again. In the time before the bell, children who died were cast upon the waters of the lake beyond the bell, sometimes while alive, if their paths and features were deemed weak. It was a different time. Children were treated carelessly. Those times are past. I have other questions. Why would you give a telling of a child's spirit?
Many would come seeking their child's future, or a reading into the child's past, the lives its soul is said to have lived.
There is a slow chill, and for a moment, it seems as if she's going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen. And there is a spike of fear, alarm.
Such things are not mine to see. I meant no offense.
Oddly enough, it feels like she's not speaking to you. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill, which persists for a sharp moment, then fades into a dull fear. You feel the word watcher. You're frightened. Something about watchers? As the thought of watchers crosses your mind, you feel a sharp pain, stabbing, and the sudden burn of lashes across your back and shoulder. And then it is gone, and you feel the grieving mother before you, silent, almost fearful, weary.
I was something else, but because the title Watcher was cast on me, the word carried a weight I had neither earned nor deserved. The world seems filled with such titles. They distract, I think, from the actions of the person, from their strengths.
Why did you believe you were a watcher?
The world has many corners, and in some corners the name Watcher is more known. It is an easier title than others, and at times it is easier to wear. Placing a title upon what is unknown can dispel the fear of it, and I did not fight it. I even believed it true, though I knew little of the ways of Watchers. It even granted me strength. I was able to see the thoughts of others, shape them, and help guide souls. Watcher seemed enough, and the name seemed to matter little in the light of one's acts.
But if they came to you to read their child's souls, what did you tell them?
I drew upon the present. I felt the soul of the mother before me, and used that to tell the child's path, to give it a voice. If only the thoughts of the mother and the emotions that lie beneath were mine to impart. I did, and so I used that as the telling of their child's future.
What if it turned out to be untrue?
Futures fulfilled by one's own spirit are as strong as anything seen by another's eyes. And if one draws from the emotion of the mother, it matters only when harm is done. And their lives I knew well. I could weave their lives, their thoughts over time, to the mother, to the child. And once the child had been born, was sheltered, I could relax the threads of thought until the child could stand on its own.
So you shaped their thoughts? Made the readings true?
This is my calling, to show them the life I see before them, and even greater, make them believe it.
Why would you do such a thing?
Even The most strongly worded tells may not be enough to save a child and allow it to be born. If I have the strength to strip away the stem of a mother's spite to expose kindness, weave nurturing from disdain and neglect, then that is my calling. And with the weight of Watcher behind my thoughts, these tells gain strength. Strength I never possessed on my own. They believed, and what they believed became the truth. With each child that was set upon that path, the title of Watcher became stronger. You must understand, without such weight upon my words, many lives would have been lost, drowned, cast in the lake beyond the bell. Now the trail to the lake is lost and reclaimed by the forest, as was meant. A Watcher was not there to look over us, but it was a Watcher that saved them, and with a Watcher's strength, children were born, were cared for, and grew strong.
To inflict your will on others, that is not reading, that is control. It seems your readings were necessary. I don't quite know if she was controlling their thoughts. It felt more maybe like she was nudging the thoughts and emotions to be a certain way, not necessarily controlling them. We don't know if they were necessary either. I mean, we'll never know. I think we're just gonna go with an I see.
What use is a frightened will when a spirit is at stake? Would you let the fears of a mother end her newborn's life? You felt it in the memory, the weight of it, the importance of the child's life. It was a memory we shared.
Did we share that memory, or did you inflict it on me? That memory, it's not the truth, is it? And suddenly, there's a rasping cry across your consciousness. She raises her hands, and you see the chimes draped from them, yet they make no sound as she moves.
A greater good was done, and children were saved. It is a choice you may be forced to make one day, and when faced with it, you will make the same one.
Yes, I am certain I will. I refuse to exercise that kind of control over others, even for the greater good. When that happens, I'll be making my own choice. Yeah, I mean, if that's... It depends on the circumstance. When that happens, I'll be making my own choice.
This choice is not yours to make, Watcher. You will do as the world needs, as its children need. It is greater than you and your twist of sight.
Not sure. I want to discuss something different. Let your mind speak for you. I heard the name Watcher in your thoughts when you remembered the birthing bell. Why? Is this the same thing we just did?
It is because I once
Yeah, we just...
believed I was one, and others believed I was one.
Yeah, okay. Some of these questions feel like they're circling around on each other. It's kind of confusing to me. Why did you believe you were a Watcher? I feel like we just talked about that. We've read that before, haven't we? I feel like we have. There's another name for someone with your abilities. I see the word cipher in your mind and see its meaning. Although I did not train in such things, and the title feels more of a cloak the world casts on me and judges me for. It is curious how a title such as that can define one, and at times be the source of such emotion that comes from no one, but the voices of others. It is a curse of the world. Do you know anything about Watchers? I feel that they were once marked, hated. Such hate feels dimmed now. I can feel it. Other hatreds have risen for other titles, but they burned bright in the past. Now hates have shifted focus, and they may fall on the same again, either you or me. Asking something else. Tell me more about you.
And I you. In asking, we reveal ourselves to each other.
Why are you called the grieving mother? The air seems to go still for a moment, and time stretches as it did before when the two of you first met. There is a wash of uncertainty from her mind, slowly shaping into questions that swirl and do not coalesce. She does not move. She seems paralyzed, as if you have just wrapped her in a cold blanket.
That is a question for you, not I. That is not my name, although if you wish to hang the title on me, I cannot stop you. Is that what you see when your eyes fall upon me?
So, I named you? As a watcher, you may see what I do not, or your mind shapes the thoughts I project into a new meaning. There is truth in that title, but it is not all I am. So what do you grieve then? You must have felt it, seen it. It has as many names as the pain has caused. As the words take shape, they seem to tumble from her, and the wave is great, rushing into your mind. To your surprise, you feel as if you have been touched by the Beowick again, and behind it, cutting through the torrent like a knife, are the thoughts of the grieving mother. There is a wound cut across the belly of the world, a jagged knife that has stripped the stems from men and carved furrows across the wombs of women. There is much I have forgotten, but I can feel the wound all around me. It will not let me rest, not let me be. The children have gone silent, yet their voices may be heard again. You're speaking of the Hollowborn. The word. There is a slowness of thoughts, as if the word is being weighed, accepted. It doesn't feel natural to her, you can sense it. It was once unknown to me, as was much of what unfolded in the outside world. When the curse came upon us, I thought it a smaller thing, a thing of communities and hearths. Her thoughts seemed to stumble, as if on weak legs. It was only when I walked did I feel it stretching out around me, in all the cracks of the world. Children have been cursed. I do not think it was something they caused, not something deserved. That which is inside them has been torn away. I do not know how, but this wound must be stitched closed. The world bleeds forth from between a woman's legs. If this blood is not stemmed, the world will die and grow quiet. Do you know its cause? There is a desperation, a welling fear. You can almost feel her thoughts shivering, and you realize this is as lost as you are, that she is as lost as you are on the matter, and then a sudden, sharp clarity. I shall know it through you. Your eyes will track the cause, find the path, and I will be beside you. There is no wound that cannot be healed, and if you are truly a watcher, then this wound may be seen for what it is. You saw me where I hid. Whoever's hands have stilled the world, you shall see them too. And if there is no way to heal it, what then? I will be there, and you will do what must be done. You were given your sight so that you may watch the world, and you will tend it. The children shall have their voice again. If your will is weak, then I shall strengthen it. Lean upon me. You feel a weight in her words, as if her hands are on your shoulders. You feel the questions in your mind lose their edge and become merely words, as I lean upon you. You shall be my eyes, as I shall be your hands when the time comes. What do you think of Deerwood and the Empire? Those titles are markings on a map, and channel people's minds in violent directions. Such things are a threadbare blanket cast over the world, where men and women seek more importance than simply being. How do you see the world, then? The world is a field of souls tilled by Bereth's wheel. The thought of cultures and territories do not concern me. The sowing and harvest of fields does. Bereth's wheel has slowed, perhaps stopped altogether. Whatever words, titles, laws, and blades not devoted to carving away the harm or healing that wound hold little importance to me. Something else? Something different? Can you tell me about the birthing bell?
The birthing bell. It is where I could draw new souls into the world. I recall some of the memory of it through what you have seen, but not all.
Where is the birthing bell? The birthing bell lies deep in the great forests of the Deerwood, at the borders of Glenfathan lands surrounding it. Barely a town, not one you would find on any map, but it held an important place for those there, even if it were far from the beaten track. Small families tied like a knot, joined at the wrists in mind and thought. All were welcomed. All had purpose. Okay. Addendum added. Dream and memory. She clearly thought she was doing these women and their children a service, but she wasn't inclined to discuss the matter further at this moment. Perhaps she'll open up more as our journey continues. Okay. So probably gotta sleep again for her. An interesting character. It's a little difficult to follow, for me anyway, exactly what's going on with her. But I suspect that's kind of the point. Ciphers, I'm guessing, are supposed to be sort of like that, but I guess, I don't know, the ones from Lady Webb's area didn't really seem that foreign in their thoughts, but she's definitely a different case than what they are.
Hey.
Did I read your soul? I'm going to assume I read everybody's soul out here. If I didn't, and you want to know what his soul says, let me know, and I'll go back to it. Alright, so we are headed out to... here. We're going here. So we got to go back to Deerford Crossing. And then up north. I think after we do this, we'll probably have to go back to Lady Webb. And we'll stop by Cadnua, pick up Kana, talk to Durrance and Grieving Mother again. Maybe we'll kill the Audra Dragon. In fact, I do think we will be doing that after we do this. And then we'll probably finish up Defiance Bay and all that and see if we can do the battle. And then we'll just have Twin Elms to go to, which is going to be interesting. Take you 4 hours. We also got to go back to White March to turn in the Eska quest. I think. Still got quite a bit to do. We need to find out where the Sky Dragon lives too. I think we want to go back and try and take care of that one Snow Dragon too that we met. Maybe that was the Sky Dragon. I don't know.
This is the place. My big brother's last battle.
Oh. Edir scans.
I wish I could tell you what we're looking for.
Edir scans the lush landscape before you in all directions. He presses his lips together.
Anything from that battle, I guess. Whatever 15 years of rain has him buried. You see my brother's ghost, you give me a holler, all right?
He winks. Will do.
Not much here.
Yeah.
Too recent.
Too recent indeed. Although worrying. Slafe Hota. A man stands before you, his face smeared with green and ochre dyes? Ochre? Hides and furs cover his body, and he holds a spear in one hand.
Tread carefully, Estramor.
He bears teeth that have been filed to fine points. I'm looking for a group of people who may have already entered the ruins. Three-tusked Stalgear? His snarling grin widens. Have the farmers grown too fearful to even mention our names? We are the fiercest of the 6 tribes of Irglampath, and we are the guardians of the monument here. What do you know about the ruin? It's a sacred place of the builders, and neither your feet nor ours shall sully its stones. The grasses, however, he grins and hefts his spear, I will gladly water with your blood. I've never heard of the builders. He makes an exasperated clicking noise with his tongue. They are known by other names in the heathen tongues of farm folk. They are the ancient ones who built this place and many more like it, and we of the 6 tribes guard their legacy. I'm looking for a group of people who may have already entered the ruin. So are we. He runs his thumb along the smooth wood of his spear. That is why we wait here. Estramor, and that is why I have decided to let you leave in peace. What will you do? We will wait. If they are inside, they must come out. And when they do, he slides a fingertip along the point of his spear and shows you the drop of blood. Hold on. These individuals are my enemies too. If you let me in, I can bring them out for you. He laughs. And allow even more Intramoran to trample sacred ground? Certainly not. Oh, you already messed up once. What's the harm of doing it again on our account? Seeing as how we're probably much nicer people? I see. But I'll be going. And do not come this way again. Okay. Can we go? Is there a crossing over here? This is a crossing, right? Yeah. I guess we'll
Hey, something metal in the ground. Over by that boat.
over by what? We're gonna do.
Nothing over here. I guess they cleaned up real good after the battle. This is embarrassing.
How big is this map? Okay, we're almost done actually.
I think I see. No, never mind.
Hello. Looters. Uh-oh.
These ruins are claimed, friend. On your way.
No need to get riled, boys. We're just passing by.
Look at his talisman, Pag. Aothasian.
He indicates a deer.
How about that? A godless sack of shit. We got a blazing corpse worshiper on our hands.
Actually, they never found the body.
A deer fumes. He opens his mouth to say something and closes it. He quickly replaces his frown with a polite smile.
Only reason for the legacy is because the Duke doesn't got the guts to see you all slaughtered. The gods want you dead. Me and Pag, though, we done our part during the purges, didn't we?
He grips
Pag?
his saber.
Seamstresses?
Make your cracks now. Got no god or homeland to avenge you. By Magrin, this'll be short work.
Margaret relishes in perseverance, not slaughter. No purge or execution is Margaret's work.
Doesn't matter who it was for anyway. Country's better for the purges. Maybe we start a new purge right
He
here.
readies his weapon. You see, you guys are idiots. There's 7 of us. Highly armed. We have amazing, beautiful, high quality looking armor and weapons. And you attack us. Like, alright. It was very clear they weren't very smart
They were
people.
right. That was
Yeah,
short work.
indeed. Okay, what do we got here? Radsaran standard piece. The tip of some metal object protrudes from a mound of watery river silt. With both hands, you and Adir begin digging in the mud until the object is dislodged. You close your hand around it and pull it from the wet earth. The object is a steel semicircle frame about the size of your fist. At even points around the semicircle, jagged points jut out like tongues of flame, the rays of a rising sun. At the sun's center is the carved silhouette of a vorless plant.
I've seen these before. They top the standards of Raid Saris. Or did when Weidman was alive.
He takes it from
Well, it's something. Just not sure what I get.
He takes it from you and looks it over, flipping it over and over in his hands. Show it to the grieving mother. What do you think? We should take it to an expert down the road. Might be able to make something of it. Grieving mother, do you think you can help us? Look, I appreciate you taking the initiative, but I don't think there's much chance that this nice stranger lady happens to be a cipher. The grieving mother looks at you. I will do what I can, but I will need the skill of a watcher to aid my own, to identify the soul once I have found its traces. She turns to Adir, her hands outstretched. Adir hands her the steel sun. The motion is mechanical, unconscious. The grieving mother takes the sun in one hand and yours in another. And you can feel her presence in your mind, her thoughts bidding you to relax. Focus, she says, and the word reverberates as if through an endless chasm. You close your eyes and concentrate. The sun is bright in your mind's eye, warm with the pulse of a collective experience, and noisy with the thoughts of the past, of battle, of faith, of home. You drift from voice to voice, thought to thought, Adir's soul, a vibrant signature with which to locate his brother. One voice stands out amidst the din, brassy and earnest, a shade brighter than Adir's, but unmistakably the same construction. You have no image of its owner, but his journey is imprinted within the points and curves of the steel sun, and in your mind it opens before you as a path stretching both southward to Gilded Vale and northward over the uneven terrain that joins the Deerwood with Radsaris. You trace the path back to its origin, far back as you can find, gliding over plains and hillsides to a one-room home in Gilded Vale with a thatched roof and dirt floor. The path is faint here, its distance and time rendering images blurry and details scarce. From Gilded Vale, it follows a road toward Matimer Bridge, reaching the gates of Defiance Bay before diverting abruptly, cutting northward in a beeline for Red Saris. The path leads to a Red Saris city, regal and austere in the Adir imperial style. It winds through the streets and climbs a grand set of stairs into a stately building, passing through pointed archways into what appears to be a throne room. Upon the throne sits a man whose head is pure, blinding light, and as its gaze turns to you, the light drowns all else. Its voice carries the force of thunder, but its words are impossible to make out in the imprint, echoes of echoes. The voice and light fade, and a path bends backward, carrying you along to a barracks, then back southward, marching into Deerwood, and skirmishing along the way. Upon one battlefield, the imprint is vivid, and you see a Red Saris standard topped with a steel sun, clutched in the hands of a fallen soldier. You see a young man in Red Sarin armor with Adir's straw-colored hair race toward the standard and lift it. The path you've been following clears to see beneath his feet, and as his hand brushes the steel tip, you can hear his thoughts racing in a blur, and they are of his god and his country and a brother he hopes is far away from this place. In an instant, the thoughts are gone, as well as the man, and the standard is passed to another soldier. You pick the path up again as it meanders south and disintegrates in the shadow of Cleoban Relag. You open your eyes.
Anything? Looked like you were working real hard there.
Your brother got as far as Defiance Bay before turning to Red Saris instead. He met Woden there. Then he enlisted.
Well, what'd he talk about with Woden?
Woden's head was a beam of light.
I figured that. Woden and me had heard enough stories from his uprising to know it wasn't just some tall tale. Doesn't mean he was Aethys. It could have been some wizard's trick. It's what they talked about that's important. What'd they say?
I don't know.
That's not funny. Come on. That metal sun, my brother touched it. You saw where he went. Now what'd he talk about with Woden? Why'd my brother fight for Red Saris?
Are you deaf? I said I didn't know. It's kind of... I wish I had something better to tell you.
I guess that's it.
Adir's mouth hangs open and his eyes glaze. His forehead creases between his eyebrows. He rakes his teeth over his lower lip. His voice is barely a whisper. We'll find some other way to know why he did what he did. It was always a long shot. I knew this was a waste of time. We'll find some other way.
I don't think we will. What will we do? Look for more war relics? We were lucky to find this one. Soldiers that fought with him are long dead. The battle was a massacre. Whatever Aethys knows, he's not talking to anyone.
A new look has come over Adir, lifeless and dull as ash. We don't have to wait around anymore. I got what I needed. If only there were words to fill such emptiness. Better yet, to remove his doubt, his questions. I regret that my answers have only deepened his pain. Quest completed. Alright. That's his quest done then, huh? We were able to confirm that Adir's brother Woden fought for Red Saris and had even met with Woden himself prior to enlisting, but his actual reasons for doing so were lost. Adir would likely never know what inspired his brother to change his allegiance. Did I fail that? Was there something else I could have done? Huh. I wonder if I had brought it to Dunwood Row, if it would have been better. Let me know if you don't. I mean, I don't know. I guess don't tell me exactly what happens, but just yes or no if there was a better way to handle that. Yes, if there was a better way. I don't know. I think that's probably a good place to end this episode. It looks like this might be another way into the ruins that they're guarding down there. So that's what we'll be doing in the next one. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.